Darren Fletcher's final game as Manchester United manager. Complete Brighton squad prediction and analysis. Hello everyone and welcome to United Daily Updates. If you are new to our channel, you have found the best place for Manchester United news and analysis. We are the channel that gives you honest information you can actually trust. No clickbait. No fake stories. No making things up just to get views. We give you real news with proper analysis about our beloved club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel right now because today is a huge day for Manchester United. The FA Cup. A chance for silverware. And potentially the last game for Darren Fletcher as manager. You need to stay updated with everything that happens. And we are your trusted source for all of it. The day that could define Manchester United season. Picture this moment. It is Saturday afternoon. Old Trafford is buzzing with energy. The FA Cup third round. Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. The crowd is singing. The players are warming up. And in the dugout, standing where so many legends have stood before, is Darren Fletcher. This is not just another game for Fletcher. This could be his last game as Manchester United manager. His final chance to show what he can do. His last opportunity to leave his mark. After taking over following Ruben Amorim's sacking, after steadying the ship, after getting a draw at Burnley in his first game, this is where it could all end. But Fletcher is not thinking about endings. He is thinking about the FA Cup. About giving United fans something to cheer about. About starting a run that could lead to silverware. Because here is something you might not remember. Manchester United won the FA Cup in 2024. Under Erik ten Hag. They beat Manchester City in the final. That was just 2 years ago. United know how to win this trophy. They know what it takes. Last season was different. United crashed out in the 5th round. Disappointment. But before that, in the Carabao Cup earlier this season, United suffered one of their most embarrassing defeats ever. They lost to Grimsby Town. Grimsby. A team from League Two. The 4th tier of English football. That humiliation still stings. United fans have not forgotten it. The players definitely have not forgotten it. So today matters. Really matters. Not just because it is the FA Cup. Not just because it could be Fletcher's last game. But because United desperately need a cup run. They need something to play for. They need hope. They need to give the fans some joy. And it all starts this afternoon against Brighton. Darren Fletcher has confirmed he has the same squad available that played at Burnley. Everyone is fit. Everyone is ready. That means Fletcher has options. Lots of options. He can pick a strong team. He can rotate if he wants. He can give opportunities to players who deserve them. The squad is there. The talent is there. Now it is about making the right decisions. Let me take you through everything. Who will Fletcher pick? What formation will he use? Which players deserve to start? Who might be disappointed to miss out? What tactical approach makes sense against Brighton? And most importantly, can Manchester United get the win and start a proper FA Cup run? Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let me give you the complete breakdown of what to expect from Manchester United this afternoon. Why this game is so important for Manchester United. Before I get into the predicted team, let me talk about why this game against Brighton matters so much. Because some people might think it is just an FA Cup third-round tie. Just another game. But it is so much more than that. Let me explain why. First, Manchester United need silverware. Desperately need it. When was the last time United won a major trophy? The FA Cup in 2024. Before that, the Carabao Cup in 2023. So United have won some cups recently, which is good. But they have not won the Premier League since 2013. They have not won the Champions League since 2008. The big trophies have been missing for too long. Right now, United are not winning the Premier League this season. They are too far behind. They are not even in the top 4. Champions League qualification looks difficult. So what is left? The cups. The FA Cup and potentially Europa League if they qualify. These competitions represent United's best chance of winning something this season. That makes every cup game crucial. Every game is a chance to stay in the hunt for a trophy. Second, the Grimsby Town disaster earlier this season still haunts everyone at Manchester United. Losing to a League Two team in the Carabao Cup was humiliating. Absolutely humiliating. It was one of the worst results in the club's history. Fans were angry. Players were embarrassed. The club looked like a joke. That cannot happen again. United cannot afford another cup humiliation this season. They need to take the FA Cup seriously. They need to win these games. Third, cup competitions give players who are not starting regularly a chance to prove themselves. United have squad players who barely get minutes in the Premier League. Players who are frustrated. Players who want to show they deserve more opportunities. The FA Cup gives them that platform. Fletcher can rotate. He can give chances to players who need games. And those players can repay his faith with good performances. Fourth, winning breeds confidence. United's confidence is low right now. Really low. They are struggling in the league. Results have been poor. Performances have been inconsistent. The mood around the club is not great. But winning can change that. Even just one good win. One confident performance. One afternoon where everything clicks. That can lift spirits. That can build momentum. That can make players believe again. Fifth, the fans need something to be happy about. United fans have suffered so much in recent years. So much disappointment. So many false dawns. So many promising starts that end in failure. They need their club to give them something positive. A cup run would do that. Beating Brighton today. Then winning in the 4th round. Then the 5th round. Suddenly you are in the quarter-finals thinking about Wembley. That journey would mean so much to supporters who have had very little to celebrate recently. Sixth, this game could define how Darren Fletcher is remembered as United manager. Fletcher has only been in charge for one game. The draw at Burnley. If he loses to Brighton today and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or someone else takes over, how will people remember Fletcher's brief time as boss? As someone who steadied the ship? Or as someone who could not get results? This game matters for Fletcher's legacy, even if that legacy will be short. Seventh, Brighton are a good team. Really good. They play excellent football under their manager. They are well organized. They have talented players. This is not an easy game. This is not a foregone conclusion. United will have to be at their best to win. That makes it a proper test. A chance to see if United can perform under pressure against quality opposition. The result will tell us a lot about where this team is mentally and physically. All of these reasons explain why this Brighton game is so much more important than just another FA Cup third-round tie. This is about United season. About the players. About the fans. About building something positive. About avoiding more embarrassment. About winning. And it all happens this afternoon at Old Trafford. Darren Fletcher's biggest selection decisions. Now let me talk about the selection decisions Darren Fletcher has to make. Because picking a team is not simple. Fletcher has to balance multiple factors. He has to keep some players happy. He has to rest others. He has to choose the right tactics. He has to make tough calls. Let me walk you through the biggest decisions Fletcher faces. Decision number 1 is how strong to go. Does Fletcher pick his absolute best 11? His strongest possible team? Or does he rotate and give chances to squad players? Both approaches have merit. If you go full strength, you maximize your chances of winning. You show Brighton and everyone watching that United are taking this seriously. You build confidence by putting out your best team and getting a result. But if you rotate, you keep your best players fresh for upcoming Premier League games. You give opportunities to players who need minutes. You keep the whole squad engaged and motivated. You potentially discover that a fringe player is better than you thought. The rotation approach makes sense for a long season where you need everyone contributing. My guess is Fletcher will go somewhere in the middle. He will make some changes but keep a strong core. He will rotate in 2 or 3 positions but keep 7 or 8 regulars. That gives him the best of both worlds. A competitive team that should beat Brighton. But also some freshness and opportunities for squad players. Decision number 2 is what formation to use. Does Fletcher stick with the same shape he used at Burnley? Or does he try something different? Ruben Amorim loved playing with 3 centre-backs. That system did not work particularly well. It was one of the reasons results were so poor under Amorim. Does Fletcher persevere with it? Or does he go back to a traditional back 4? I think Fletcher will probably stick with what he knows. He played at Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. Ferguson almost always used a back 4. 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. That is what Fletcher grew up with. That is what he understands. I would not be surprised if Fletcher goes with a back 4 today and abandons the 3 centre-back system that caused so many problems. Decision number 3 is in goal. Who starts? Andre Onana has been the number 1 all season. He is the main goalkeeper. But cup games sometimes give the backup keeper a chance. Does Altay Bayındır get a game? Bayındır barely plays. He must be frustrated. Giving him the FA Cup could keep him happy. But Onana is better. Onana gives you a better chance of winning. My prediction is Onana starts. Fletcher will want his best goalkeeper for an important game. Decision number 4 is at right back. Diogo Dalot has been playing there mostly, but he could be rested. Nasser Mazraoui can play right back too. He has done it before. Does Fletcher give Mazraoui a start and rest Dalot? Or does he keep Dalot in because he has been one of United's better players this season? This is a tough one. I lean toward Dalot starting because his performances have been decent and Fletcher will want reliability. Decision number 5 is at centre-back. Who partners with Lisandro Martinez? Assuming Martinez plays, who goes next to him? Harry Maguire? Matthijs de Ligt? Victor Lindelof? Each option has pros and cons. Maguire has experience and leadership. De Ligt was expensive and should be playing more. Lindelof is solid and reliable. My guess is De Ligt partners Martinez. De Ligt needs games and minutes to justify his transfer fee. Decision number 6 is at left back. Luke Shaw is fit now. Tyrell Malaysia has been playing some games too. Who starts? Shaw is the better player when fit. But he has been injured so much. Does Fletcher trust him for 90 minutes? Or does he go with Malaysia who has been more available? I think Shaw starts if he is fully fit. He gives United more quality going forward. Decision number 7 is the big one. Midfield. This is where Fletcher has the most options and the toughest decisions. Who plays in the middle? Casemiro? Bruno Fernandes? Kobbie Mainoo? Manuel Ugarte? Christian Eriksen? All of them want to play. All of them think they should start. Fletcher can only pick 2 or 3 depending on formation. Bruno Fernandes is the captain and best player. He has to play. No question. Kobbie Mainoo has been one of United's few bright spots this season. He should play too. That leaves one spot if Fletcher plays a 3-man midfield. Does Casemiro get it? Does Ugarte? Does Eriksen? My guess is Casemiro starts because Fletcher will want experience in a big game. Decision number 8 is up front. Who starts in attack? Rasmus Højlund has been the main striker. But he could be rested. Joshua Zirkzee is the backup striker. Does he get a chance? Or does Fletcher keep Højlund in the team? I think Højlund starts. He needs games. He needs goals. He needs confidence. Playing against Brighton in front of the home fans could help him. Decision number 9 is on the wings. This is interesting. Alejandro Garnacho has been good on the left. Amad Diallo has been playing on the right. But Fletcher could give others a chance. Could Antony finally get a game after being frozen out? Could a young player like JJ Gabriel make his debut? The report mentions Gabriel specifically as someone who could feature. That would be exciting for the fans. Decision number 10 is the bench. Who are the substitutes? Fletcher needs to make sure he has good options to bring on if things are not going well. Experienced players who can change a game. Young players who can bring energy. The bench matters almost as much as the starting 11 in modern football. These are the 10 big decisions Darren Fletcher has to make. 10 choices that will determine how United set up against Brighton. 10 calls that could decide whether United win or lose. Whether the cup run continues or ends. Whether Fletcher leaves on a high or a low. No pressure Darren. The predicted Manchester United starting 11. Based on everything I know about the squad, about Fletcher's thinking, about the importance of this game, let me give you my predicted Manchester United starting 11 for this afternoon against Brighton. In goal, I am going with Andre Onana. Fletcher will want his best goalkeeper. This is too important a game to rotate. Onana starts. At right back, I predict Diogo Dalot. He has been solid this season. One of United's better performers. Fletcher will stick with him. At centre-back, I am going with Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez as the partnership. De Ligt cost a lot of money and needs to play more. Martinez has been good when fit. This pairing makes sense. At left-back, I think Luke Shaw starts if he is fully fit. Shaw gives United quality on that left side both defensively and going forward. He is better than Malaysia when healthy. In midfield, I am predicting a 3-man setup. Casemiro sitting deep as the defensive midfielder. Kobbie Mainoo playing box-to-box in the middle. And Bruno Fernandes as the attacking midfielder in the number 10 role. This trio gives United defensive solidity, youthful energy, and creative quality. On the right wing, I think Amad Diallo starts. He has been one of the few positives this season. He deserves to keep his place. He brings energy and directness. Up front as the striker, Rasmus Højlund leads the line. He needs games and goals. This is a good opportunity for him to get both. On the left wing, and this is where it gets interesting, I am going to predict that Alejandro Garnacho starts. Garnacho has talent. He has pace. He has goals in him. Fletcher will want that threat. So my predicted Manchester United starting 11 is Onana, Dalot, De Ligt, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad, Højlund, Garnacho. That is a 4-3-3 formation. Back 4. 3 in midfield. 3 up front. It is a strong team. It is balanced. It has experience and youth. It has defensive solidity and attacking threat. It should be good enough to beat Brighton. But let me also give you an alternative prediction. Because Fletcher might decide to rotate more than I expect. If he wants to rest some key players, the team might look different. Alternative starting 11. Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire, De Ligt, Malaysia, Ugarte, Mainu, Eriksen, Antony, Xerxes, Garnacho. That is a more rotated side. Still competitive. Still has quality. But gives some players a rest and others a chance to impress. This version sees Mazraoui, Maguire, Malaysia, Ugarte, Eriksen, Antony, and Xerxes all coming in. That is 7 changes. Quite a lot of rotation. Which version will Fletcher actually choose? I honestly do not know. It depends on his priorities. Does he prioritize winning this game above all else? Then the first 11 makes more sense. Does he prioritize keeping players fresh and giving opportunities? Then the second 11 is more likely. My gut feeling is Fletcher goes closer to the first 11 I predicted. Stronger team. Fewer changes. Maximum chance of getting the win and progressing in the cup. But I could be wrong. We will see when the team sheet comes out shortly before kickoff. The players fighting for starting spots. Let me talk about some of the individual players who will be desperate to start this game. Players who have something to prove. Players who need minutes. Players who will be hoping Fletcher picks them. First, let's talk about JJ Gabriel. The report specifically mentions Gabriel as someone who could make his first team debut. This is exciting. Really exciting. Gabriel is a young academy player. He has been doing well in the youth teams. Fans have been talking about him, wondering when he will get his chance. Today could be that day. If Gabriel does make his debut, it would be a special moment. For him. For his family. For United fans who love seeing academy graduates given opportunities. Fletcher himself came through United's academy. He knows how important these moments are. He knows what it means to a young player to make that first team debut. Will Fletcher give Gabriel that gift? We will find out soon. Antony is another player desperate for a chance. Antony cost £85 million when United signed him from Ajax. 85 million. That is a huge amount of money. But Antony has been a massive disappointment. Really poor. He barely plays anymore. He has been frozen out. This could be his chance to remind people he is still here. Still capable. Still worth persevering with. But honestly, most fans have given up on Antony. His United career looks finished. Joshua Xerxes is in a similar position to Antony but not quite as bad. Xerxes arrived in the summer as backup to Højlund. He has barely played. He has not scored much. He has not really impressed when given chances. But he is still young. Still developing. Still learning. The FA Cup could give him valuable minutes. Could give him confidence. Could help his development. Fletcher might see value in starting Xerxes and resting Højlund. Christian Eriksen wants to play more. Eriksen is 31 years old now. He cannot play every week anymore. But when he does play, he often shows his quality. His passing is still excellent. His vision is still there. The FA Cup would be a good game for Eriksen. Not too physically demanding, hopefully. A chance to control the tempo. To show he still has something to offer. Manuel Ugarte is frustrated. He joined from PSG for big money. He was supposed to solve United's defensive midfield problems. But he has struggled to establish himself. Casemiro keeps playing ahead of him. Ugarte sits on the bench wondering when his time will come. Today could be that time. Fletcher might decide Casemiro needs a rest. Ugarte would grab that opportunity eagerly. Harry Maguire is another one fighting for a spot. Maguire used to be captain of Manchester United. Now he barely starts. He has fallen down the pecking order. De Ligt and Martinez are preferred. Maguire must hate that. He must want to play. He must want to prove he still deserves a place in this team. The FA Cup gives him that platform. Tyrell Malaysia has had a difficult time recently. Injuries. Loss of form. Luke Shaw coming back from injury. Malaysia needs games to rebuild his confidence. To remind people he is a good player. The FA Cup could provide those games. Could provide that confidence. Could help his career get back on track. Nasser Mazraoui can play right back or left back. He is versatile. But versatility sometimes means you do not have a fixed position. Mazraoui probably wants to nail down one spot and make it his own. Today could be a chance to do that if Fletcher gives him a start. All of these players will be hoping Fletcher picks them. All of them will be checking their phones nervously before the game to see if they are in the starting 11. All of them want to contribute, want to prove themselves, want to help United win. Some will be delighted when the team is announced. Others will be disappointed. That is football. Not everyone can play. But everyone can be ready to make an impact if called upon. What formation makes most sense against Brighton? Let me discuss what formation I think makes most sense for Manchester United to use against Brighton today. Because the formation matters. It determines how United set up, how they defend, how they attack. Everything flows from the formation. Ruben Amorim loved using 3 centre-backs, 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 variations. That was his preferred system. He used it at Sporting Lisbon and tried to implement it at United. But honestly, it never really worked at United. The defenders struggled with it. The wing-backs were not good enough. The whole team looked uncomfortable. Results were poor partly because of this system. Darren Fletcher does not have to stick with Amorim's system. Amorim is gone. Fletcher is his own man. He can choose whatever formation he thinks gives United the best chance of winning. And my guess is Fletcher will go back to what he knows. What he grew up with as a Manchester United player. Under Sir Alex Ferguson, United almost always played with a back 4. 4-4-2 was the classic Ferguson formation for many years. Then later it evolved into 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1 as football modernized. But the back 4 was constant. That is the Manchester United way. That is the tradition. That is what works. I think Fletcher will use a back 4 today. Probably in a 4-3-3 formation. Let me explain why this makes sense. A back 4 is more natural for United's defenders. They are comfortable with it. They know their jobs. Dalot or Mazraoui at right back. 2 centre-backs in the middle. Shaw or Malaysia at left back. Simple. Organized. Solid. This should make United more defensively sound than they were under Amorim's 3 at the back. Having 3 in midfield gives United control in the middle of the pitch. Brighton like to dominate possession. They like to control games through midfield. United need to match them in that area. Having 3 central midfielders helps with that. It gives United numbers in the middle. It stops Brighton from overrunning them. The 3 in midfield can be balanced nicely. 1 defensive-minded player sitting deep. Casemiro or Ugarte. 1 box-to-box player who can defend and attack. Kobbie Mainoo is perfect for this. 1 attacking midfielder who creates chances. Bruno Fernandes obviously. That triangle gives you everything you need. Defense. Energy. Creativity. Having 3 forwards stretches Brighton's defense. A striker in the middle. Højlund or Xerxes. A winger on the left. Garnacho most likely. A winger on the right. Amad Diallo probably. This front 3 can attack Brighton from different angles. Can pin back their fullbacks. Can create space for each other. Can score goals. The 4-3-3 is also flexible. It can become a 4-5-1 when defending deep. The wingers drop back to help the midfield. It can become a 4-2-4 when attacking. The fullbacks push forward. The attacking midfielder joins the forwards. That flexibility is valuable in a game. It allows United to adapt to what Brighton are doing. Compare this to the 3 at the back system. 3 at the back requires really good wing-backs. Players who can defend like full-backs but also attack like wingers. United do not really have those players. Dalot is okay, but not great. Shaw when fit is decent going forward. But again, not spectacular. The wing-back positions were a weakness under Amorim. 3 at the back also leaves you outnumbered in midfield sometimes. If Brighton play with 3 in midfield and United only have 2, Brighton can dominate that area. That is a problem. That is how you lose control of games. The back 4 system with 3 in midfield solves this issue. So my prediction is Darren Fletcher uses a 4-3-3 formation today. It makes tactical sense. It suits the players better. It is more natural for a Manchester United team. It gives United the best chance of controlling the game and getting the win they need. Of course, I could be completely wrong. Fletcher might stick with 3 at the back because that is what the players have been training with recently. Changing formation mid-season can be disruptive. Players need time to adapt. Maybe Fletcher decides continuity is more important than changing systems. We will see. But my money is on a back 4. The Brighton threat that United need to worry about. Now let me talk about Brighton as opponents. Because Brighton are not a pushover. Not at all. They are a really good team who will cause United problems if United are not careful. Let me explain what makes Brighton dangerous. First, Brighton play really nice football. Their manager has them playing an attractive possession-based style. They keep the ball. They pass it around confidently. They build from the back. They are patient. They wait for openings. Then they attack quickly when they see space. It is modern. It is effective. It is difficult to play against. Second, Brighton are well organized defensively. They do not give away cheap goals. They defend as a unit. Everyone knows their job. Everyone works hard. Even when they lose the ball, they press immediately to try to win it back. That organization makes them tough to break down. United will need to be creative and patient to score against them. Third, Brighton have some really talented players. Their forwards are quick and skillful. Their midfielders are technical and clever. Their defenders are comfortable on the ball. Brighton recruit brilliantly. They find players from unexpected places and turn them into stars. Several of their current players will probably move to bigger clubs in the future. They are that good. Fourth, Brighton have nothing to lose. This is the FA Cup. Brighton are not expected to win at Old Trafford. They can play without pressure. They can take risks. They can go for it. That freedom can be dangerous. Teams that play loose and free can cause upsets. United need to be aware of that. Fifth, Brighton probably want revenge. United beat Brighton 2-1 at Old Trafford in the Premier League earlier this season. Brighton will remember that. They will want to get one over on United. They will want to knock United out of the FA Cup. That motivation could make them even more dangerous. So how should United approach this game tactically? What should they do to nullify Brighton's threats? United need to press Brighton high up the pitch. Do not let Brighton settle into their passing rhythm. If you let Brighton pass it around comfortably, they will pick you apart. You have to get in their faces. Make them uncomfortable. Force mistakes. Win the ball high up the pitch and attack quickly. United need to be compact defensively. Brighton will probe looking for gaps. United cannot give them space between the lines. The midfield and defense need to stay tight together. No big gaps for Brighton's clever players to exploit. Discipline is key. United need to use their pace on the counter-attack. Brighton will have possession for large parts of the game. That is fine. Let them have it in areas that do not hurt you. Then when you win the ball, hit them quickly. Garnacho and Ahmad have pace. Hodgland can run in behind. Use that speed to catch Brighton when they are out of shape. United need to be clinical in front of goal. United probably will not get loads of chances in this game. Brighton are too good for that. United might only get 3 or 4 real opportunities. They have to take them. Cannot afford to waste chances. Has to be ruthless finishing. United need to avoid stupid mistakes. Brighton will punish errors. If United give the ball away cheaply in dangerous areas, Brighton will make them pay. If United defenders lose concentration, Brighton will score. Concentration and composure are essential for the full 90 minutes. If United do these things, they should win. But it will not be easy. Brighton are a proper team. A well-coached team with good players. United will have to earn this victory. There are no guarantees. No free passes. This is a genuine test. And how United respond to that test will tell us a lot about where this team is mentally right now. How Darren Fletcher will be feeling right now. Let me talk about Darren Fletcher, the man, for a moment. Not the tactics. Not the team selection. But Fletcher himself and what he must be feeling right now. Because this is a huge moment in his life. Fletcher is a Manchester United legend. He played for United for 12 years. He won 5 Premier League titles. He won the Champions League. He played in huge games. He knows what success at United looks like. He lived it. He was part of teams that dominated English and European football. But Fletcher never expected to be managing Manchester United. Not like this anyway. He was coaching the under-18s. Helping develop the next generation of United players. That was his job. That was his role at the club. Then Ruben Amorim got sacked. United needed someone to take charge immediately. And they turned to Fletcher. Imagine how that phone call must have felt. Being told you are now managing Manchester United. The club you love. The club where you spent the best years of your playing career. The club that means everything to you. That must have been overwhelming. Exciting. Terrifying. All at once. Fletcher did not have time to prepare. He had to take training immediately. Had to pick a team for Burnley. Had to do press conferences. Had to do everything a manager does with almost no notice. And to his credit, Fletcher handled it well. He was calm. He was professional. He did not panic. He just got on with the job. The game at Burnley was okay. United drew 2-2. Not a great result. But not a disaster either. Fletcher got his team organised. They scored twice. They looked reasonably competitive. It was a solid start under difficult circumstances. But today is different. Today is at Old Trafford. In front of the home fans. In the FA Cup. Against a good team. The stakes feel higher. The pressure is bigger. And Fletcher knows this could be his last game as United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is apparently coming back as interim manager. Maybe after today's game. Maybe next week. Fletcher will hand over to Ole and go back to managing the under-18s. His brief time as first-team manager will be over. How does that feel? Is he sad about it? Relieved? Ready to go back to a less stressful job? My guess is Fletcher has mixed emotions. Part of him probably enjoyed the experience. Managing United. Being in the big chair. Making the big decisions. That must have been thrilling. Part of him probably wants it to continue. Wants more games. Wants more chances to prove himself. But part of him probably cannot wait for it to be over. The pressure of managing Manchester United is enormous. Absolutely enormous. Every decision is analysed. Every result is scrutinised. The media attention is relentless. The fan expectations are sky high. That pressure never stops. Never eases. It just builds and builds. Not everyone can handle that. Even if you love the club. Fletcher is smart enough to know he is not the long-term answer. He is not going to be Manchester United's permanent manager. This is temporary. A stopgap. Someone to keep things steady while United figure out what they really want to do. Fletcher accepts that. He is doing his best in a difficult situation. That is all anyone can ask. But Fletcher also wants to leave on a high. He wants his last game to be a win. He wants to send United through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. He wants to give the fans something to cheer about. He wants to show that he did a good job during his short time in charge. That pride matters. That legacy matters. Even if that legacy is just a week long. So as Fletcher stands in that dugout this afternoon, he will have a lot going through his mind. Memories of playing at Old Trafford. Pride at managing the club he loves. Nerves about getting the result. Hope that the players perform well. Awareness that this is probably his last game. Determination to go out with a win. I hope United win for Fletcher. I hope the players give him a good performance. I hope he gets to walk off that pitch having done his job well. Because Darren Fletcher deserves that. He is a good man who loves Manchester United. He stepped up when the club needed him. He did not ask for this job. He did not expect it. But he accepted it and gave it his all. That deserves respect. That deserves appreciation. And hopefully today, that deserves a win. The young players who could get chances. One of the exciting aspects of cup games is the opportunity for young players. Academy graduates who have been waiting for their moment. Teenagers who dream of playing for the first team. The FA Cup can make those dreams come true. Let me talk about some of the young players who could feature today. JJ Gabriel is the name mentioned specifically in the report. Gabriel has been impressing in the youth teams. Scoring goals. Creating chances. Showing real talent. Fans who watch the academy games have been talking about him. Wondering when he will get his shot. Today might be that day. If Gabriel does play, what position would he play? Probably as a forward. Either as a striker or a winger. That is where his strengths lie. Pace. Finishing. Movement. He would bring energy to United's attack. He would bring excitement. And he would bring a fearlessness that comes from youth. Young players do not know what pressure is yet. They just go out and play. That can be refreshing. Making your debut is nerve-wracking. Really nerve-wracking. But it is also the most exciting moment of a young player's life. That first time you pull on the first-team shirt. That first time you walk out at Old Trafford. That first time you hear the crowd singing. Nothing compares to that feeling. If Gabriel gets that experience today, it will be a moment he never forgets. There might be other academy players on the bench too. Just in case. In case injuries happen. In case Fletcher needs fresh legs late in the game. Having young players involved is good for them. Even if they do not play. Just being around the first team. Training with them. Sitting on the bench. Learning from them. That experience is valuable. Fletcher himself came through United's academy. He knows exactly how these young players are feeling. He knows how important it is to be given a chance. He knows that one opportunity can change a career. That awareness might make Fletcher more willing to give young players minutes. More willing to trust them. More willing to throw them in and see what they can do. Of course, there is a balance. Fletcher still needs to win the game. He cannot just field a team full of teenagers and hope for the best. Brighton are too good for that. But Fletcher can give one or two young players chances while still fielding a competitive team. That is the smart approach. That is what cup competitions are for. The development of young players is crucial for Manchester United's future. The academy has always been the heart of this club. Giving young players chances keeps that tradition alive. Keeps the connection between the academy and the first team strong. Shows the next generation of talent that there is a pathway. That if you are good enough, you will get opportunities. So watch out for JJ Gabriel potentially coming on today. Watch out for other academy names you might not recognize. And if they do play, support them. Cheer for them. Understand they will make mistakes because they are young. But also appreciate the courage it takes to step up at such a young age. These are the potential stars of tomorrow. The future of Manchester United. They deserve our backing. The substitutes bench and why it matters. Let me talk about something people do not always think about. The substitutes bench. The 7 players who do not start but are ready to come on. In modern football, the bench is almost as important as the starting 11. Games are decided by substitutes all the time. Let me explain why the bench matters so much today. First, injuries can happen at any moment. A player pulls a muscle in the warm-up. A player gets hurt in a tackle during the game. A player just does not feel right and cannot continue. When that happens, you need quality on the bench. Players who can come on and maintain the level. Players who will not weaken the team. Fletcher needs to make sure he has good options available. Second, games change. Maybe United start well and are winning comfortably at half-time. Fletcher can then bring on substitutes to rest key players. Give them a break. Keep them fresh for upcoming games. Or maybe United are losing and need to change something. Different players. Different approach. Different energy. The bench gives Fletcher options to change the game. Third, fresh legs make a difference in the final 20 minutes. Brighton will be tired. Their legs will be heavy. If Fletcher can bring on 3 substitutes who are fresh and full of energy, United get an advantage. Those fresh players can run at tired defenders. Can press harder. Can make things happen. The impact can be huge. Fourth, tactical changes often require different players. Maybe Fletcher wants to change formation. Go more attacking if United are chasing a goal. Or go more defensive if United are protecting a lead. To make those changes work, you need the right players on the bench. Players who fit the new system. Who can execute the new tactics. So who should be on Fletcher's bench today? Let me give you my predicted 7 substitutes. 1 goalkeeper. Either Altay Bayindir if Onana starts. Or Onana if Fletcher surprisingly starts Bayindir. You always need a backup goalkeeper on the bench just in case. 1 defender. Probably Harry Maguire if he does not start. Having an experienced centre-back available is important. If a defender gets injured or United need to close out a game defensively, Maguire can come on. 2 midfielders. Maybe Christian Eriksen and Manuel Ugarte. Eriksen can change a game with his passing if United need a goal. Ugarte can help close out a game if United need to protect a lead. Having both types of midfielder available gives Fletcher options. 3 attackers. Maybe Joshua Zirkzee, Antony, and JJ Gabriel. Zirkzee gives a different option up front if Højlund is not working. Antony can come on wide right if needed. Gabriel brings energy and pace if Fletcher needs to change things. That is 7 players covering all positions and giving Fletcher tactical flexibility. That is a good bench. Not spectacular, but good enough for a cup game against Brighton. The key is Fletcher needs to be brave enough to use his substitutes. Some managers are too slow to make changes. They wait too long. They hope things will get better. Fletcher cannot do that. If something is not working, change it. If a player is struggling, take him off. If United need a goal in the last 10 minutes, throw on attackers and go for it. Use the bench. Use all 5 substitutions allowed. That is what they are there for. Substitutes can be heroes. We have all seen it. A player comes off the bench with 20 minutes left. Scores the winning goal. Becomes the match winner. That player might be on United's bench today. That moment might happen this afternoon. Fletcher just needs to make the right calls at the right times. What United fans are expecting today. Let me talk about what Manchester United fans are expecting and hoping for today. Because fan expectations matter. They create the atmosphere. They influence the players. They shape how the game feels. So what are United fans thinking right now? First and foremost, United fans want to win. Desperately want to win. It has been a difficult season. Results have been poor. Performances have been inconsistent. Fans need something to celebrate. Something to feel good about. Beating Brighton and progressing in the FA Cup would provide that. It would give fans hope. It would give them something positive to focus on. But fans do not just want any win. They want a convincing win. They want to see United dominate Brighton. Control the game. Create chances. Play with confidence. Score multiple goals. No more of these scrappy 1-0 wins or lucky escapes. United fans want to watch their team and feel proud. Feel like they are watching a proper Manchester United performance. Fans also want to see certain players perform. Bruno Fernandes needs to be at his best. Creating chances. Dictating the tempo. Being the leader. Kobbie Mainoo needs to continue his good form. Show why he is one of United's few bright spots this season. Rasmus Højlund needs goals. Confidence. Something to build on. United fans are hoping for a clean sheet. The defense has been shaky all season. Too many goals conceded. Too many defensive errors. A clean sheet today would be a positive sign. Would show improvement. Would give the defenders confidence. Onana needs a comfortable afternoon where he is not picking the ball out of his net. Fans want to see energy and effort from every player. That is the minimum expectation at Manchester United. You might not always have the best quality. You might not always play brilliantly. But you can always work hard. You can always run. You can always show you care. Fans will accept poor quality if the effort is there. What they cannot accept is players who do not seem to care. Who do not try. Who let their teammates down. There is also curiosity about JJ Gabriel. Fans who follow the academy know about him. They want to see if he gets a chance. They want to see what he can do. The romance of seeing an academy player make his debut at Old Trafford never gets old for United fans. That connection to the youth system is important. It is part of the club's identity. Some fans are also thinking about Darren Fletcher. They appreciate what he has done this week. Stepping up. Taking responsibility. Handling a difficult situation with dignity. They want Fletcher to go out on a high if this is indeed his last game. They want to give him a good send-off. They want the team to win for him. But underneath all of this, there is worry. United fans have been hurt too many times recently. Too many false dawns. Too many games where United start well then collapse. Too many performances where the effort just is not there. So fans are hopeful but also nervous. Wanting to believe but scared of more disappointment. The atmosphere at Old Trafford today will reflect all of these emotions. Hope. Nerves. Expectation. Worry. Support. Frustration. It will all be there. The players will feel it. Fletcher will feel it. And how the team responds to that atmosphere in the first 15 minutes will set the tone for the entire game. The FA Cup history United are trying to continue. Let me remind you about Manchester United's history in the FA Cup. Because this competition means something special to this club. United have won the FA Cup 12 times. 12. That is the joint most of any club along with Arsenal. This trophy is woven into United's DNA. Come on United. Let us get that win today. Let us start this FA Cup run properly. Let us give Darren Fletcher a winning send-off. Let us give the fans something to smile about. Let us show Brighton and everyone watching that Manchester United still know how to win when it matters. Come on you Reds. Thanks for watching and remember to subscribe.